Good day. I've just been using flexible ties to tie in this cultivated thornless blackberry, and what I've done first is I've tied the rubber flexible tie. It's got a wire running through the center of it. I've tied that tightly to the wire first, and then I've put the blackberry cane, the growth of that cane, onto it, and then twisted the flexible tie so that it stays in place. Because what I found last year is I didn't use a flexible tie, and what happened is the growth just sort of twisted all over the place. Where using this flexible tie, which is rubberized, that is now secured, I hope, to the wire that goes horizontally, and it won't budge. So that's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, and ties crossed too. This is the tree honeysuckle that I pruned a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and now that I can see where the growth is, i.e. where there's green, I can see there's some areas like here where there's a branch which has got no growth on it at all, and it comes down here as well. There's another branch going up there that's got no growth, and there's one just here. I don't think that one going vertically has got any growth, and up here as well. So what I'm going to do now is just have a closer look, and if there is no growth, then that's going to be dead. So I might as well cut it out now. Yeah, it's interesting because when I was doing this, I could see where there was early growth on some, but of course then we've had quite a few cold snaps since, and in some ways it's actually delayed the development of the green growth on here. So I haven't been able to see until really today, or take notice until today, that there are areas where I didn't cut branches off or didn't cut growth off that is actually dead. So yeah, I'm just going to get on with that. I was just noticing yesterday when I was putting nets back on this dazzling blue kale that it's beginning to, and you see there, it's beginning to go to seed. These are going to become flowers, and then they will go a wonderful yellow when they open, and then become seeds if I let them. But these, you can take them off individually like that, and they are absolutely delicious, raw in salads or lightly steamed. Yum, 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 yum. These need a good tidy up, but yeah, there's some good harvest to come from there. Turnips looking good. I think I may have to thin some of those out because I only really want 3 or 4 turnips per module, so I'll do a bit of thinning. Not quite yet though, but pleased to see, you just see there some germination, a bit of germination there in our beetroot. Oh, a bit of red over there as well, not sure if you can see that. So yes, the beetroot has germinated. I do think everything needs a good water though, so I'll get on and give it a little splash. I'm glad to have got down here this afternoon and got a few jobs done. And as I say, using the flexible ties, which are sort of rubberized with a wire in them, I'm hopeful that as I've tied the tie around the wire nice and tightly, it will be really snug so that the black currant that I then attach to the tie or with the tie, it doesn't shift along that line like it did last year. Hopefully find a little bit of germination. That's lovely. I had a few things that I needed to bring down to the site today, to bags of sand actually, and a bag of or half bag of gravel, because one of the plot holders here needs some sand for her carrot bed, and we've got some at home which we don't need, so I brought that down. Another half a bag of sand is going to go for the valves that we're going to be doing as part of the water circuit here that we're going to be putting in. So that's going to another plot holder here who'll be doing that. And I've got the gravel because I've got some late hyacinths that I need to pot up, and I know they don't like being water bound at all. So I'm going to put some gravel in. But yeah, and you know, getting on with things, seeing that tree honeysuckle, I did think to myself, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. And then I thought, no, it's a lovely day today, Paul. You know, get on and do it today. You don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. And yesterday was so grim. You know, it was a grim day. Plus, of course, there was lots and lots of wind yesterday. Today, it's a sort of light breeze, which is lovely. But yesterday, I did come down here expecting to do, or thinking I was going to do, not expecting, thinking I was going to do a first segment of this week's A Week at the Plot. And you know what, it wasn't in me yesterday. I felt a little low yesterday, a tad deflated, and it wasn't there, so I didn't do it, you know. And we very often, you know, when we're doing Sunday chat, we'll say to you, oh, we feel a bit flat today, or we feel this, you know. What you see is what you get with the two of us. And you know, I think that's really important. You know, warts and all, you know, but I just felt that the wart that I had yesterday was a bit too brash to put myself out there, shall I say. But today I'm feeling sort of much better and brighter, and the weather is more glorious. It's going to be cold this evening. It looks as though it's going to go down to -1 in our area, which means most probably -2, -3 down at the allotment. And I was hoping to bring some egg boxes down because I've got the seed potatoes which are still in a cupboard. They're chitting in the dark in a cupboard. Not a good idea because they like the light, but there's no point in bringing them out in the light when there's going to be quite a sharp frost. So I'm going to do that not tomorrow. I'll most probably do that on Thursday, and we'll have a look at our seed potatoes on Thursday. But I've looked at them the other day when I was tidying the shed, and they're looking grand, so that's absolutely super. And I have to say, having tidied the shed, it really, yeah, it does improve the mood. It does improve the mood. In fact, when I was feeling a bit down yesterday and I got to the shed and opened the door and I saw how tidy the inside of the shed was, I did smile a bit because I completely forgotten that I tidied the shed. I had, anyway, there we are. Right, I'm going to go, otherwise I will start rambling. I will see you again relatively soon, I think, for another segment of A Week at the Plot. What will I be doing? I don't know. See you then, because then we'll find out. Bye. Good day. A much needed watering of the ground bed and the seedling trays in the polytunnel, and I brought these chard and these matador spinach out as well and given them a watering. They're now going to stay outside. I'm not going to put them back in the poly. They've overwintered in the poly without a cover on them, unlike the other seedlings that you've seen that have had a cover. And now that the cold nights seem to have gone for a week or so, I'm just going to leave them on this bench in the open air, let them get the breeze on them and any wind that we have, just to harden them off and strengthen them up a bit before I plant them out into a bed. And I've also been looking at the cuttings here, and I have to say, sadly, I think our lavender cuttings, lavender plants actually, I think these are a year old. I think they've succumbed to the winter. Yeah, look, that's just snapping. No life in there. I think they've succumbed. I mean, we have had for the UK quite a bitter winter, so it's not surprising because they're hardy, of course, but I think in these pots up here they just haven't liked it. And we've got some growth in foxgloves coming back, which is great. This carnation cutting seems to still be okay. These rose cuttings I took last year, these are the white rose, I think. They seem to be okay. It does seem to be quite dark down here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but these little shoots are coming, so we'll see on those. The hardy cultivated blackberries are fine, and the roses, the climbing roses, are fine as well. These are hedge roses. Yeah, I think they may have succumbed as well. Hey ho, hey ho. What I have noticed is that these Jostaberries are really budding up, and I wanted to take cuttings from those, which I would have rather have done maybe a month ago. But you know what, they're all intertwined, so I was going to take cuttings from these, and I still am. So I'll be doing that over the next, I think the next session I'm down here, which may be Friday or maybe Saturday, because it's Thursday afternoon now, and it's quite a funny day today. We had a lot of rain overnight, and we've had sunshine today, and we've had clouds, and you can see that the sun is behind the clouds wanting to break through, but I'm not sure it will again today. But yeah, that's about it for today for me. I'm noticing that our autumn fruiting raspberries are all starting to have growth on them, which is great. But what I'm also noticing is that this couch grass needs to be taken out as well. Not a job for today, but a job for relatively soon. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to think about how I'm going to take these cuttings. Well, I'm going to think about taking these cuttings because I know how I'm going to take them. And we'll have a look at that most probably the next time I'm down. See you very soon. Bye. Good day, and welcome to this Saturday segment of A Week at the Plot. And this morning it was really wet and grey. There were a few spells of bright sunshine, which was lovely, but then the clouds would roll in and it would get grey and it would start drizzling and then raining. And yeah, it's been like that all day. But I knew that I wanted to do a job, and it was going to be a job that I could do in the polytunnel. So I came down to do that job. And as I was walking down here, I have to say this afternoon is just glorious. It really is. Fabulous blue skies, lots of white cloud, but the sun is out, and in that sun it is really, really warm. So I was walking down with a fleece on and with my body warmer on. As soon as I got down here, it was off with both of those, because doing any type of work out there in the sun is just going to be too warm if I've got a fleece on, and particularly if I've got a body warmer on as well. So it is t-shirt weather. Not quite summer skin at the moment. I do tan up quite quickly when I'm sort of regularly out in the sun in the spring and going into summer. But yeah, this is there's still few at the moment. T-shirt weather is still few and far between, really. And as I say that, the sun is going in. I'm sure it'll come out. I'm sure it'll come out again. But I came down here, and unusually, I knew exactly what job I was going to do today. Exactly what job I was going to do. I'd spoken about it earlier in the week. The Jostaberries need pruning. I hadn't pruned them yet. And the reason I hadn't pruned them was because I wanted to do cuttings from them, and I just haven't really got around to it. So today I decided that the job I was going to do was going to be pruning the Jostaberries and taking cuttings from my prunings. Now I think this is the third year of the Jostaberries. They're quite slow to get going. You don't really, unlike raspberries and strawberries, you don't really get anything. They're a bit like rhubarb. You don't really get anything in that first year, and then the second year you need to be a bit careful about not taking too much, and then in the third year hopefully they will really get going. So this is the third year, and I hope they will get going. But they need a good prune, and they need a shape more than a prune actually, because they're all sort of bent over and twisted, as they were when I put them in, because I was going to take cuttings from them last year and I didn't. So I came down to do that job. Fantastic. I get down here and I realise after the last pruning session I did, I took my secateurs home, I gave them a good clean, I gave them a little sharpen, and at home they remain. So I am not doing that job of Jostaberries today. So what I've decided to do, and partly because it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, is I'm going to be planting our seed potatoes. So we've got Arran seed potatoes. I normally buy online, but this year, if you remember, on a trip to home base to get firewood, I saw them and I bought a pack of Arran seed potatoes, which I kept in the cupboard because of frosts for rather too long. I haven't put them into the egg boxes like I normally do to let them chit, but what I've decided is they're not going to be chitting this year. They're going to be planted as they are. And I haven't had a look at them yet. I'm going to get them out of the cupboard and we'll go outside and we'll have a look at the Arran potatoes that I do have to plant. And what I'm going to be doing is planting them in one of our raised beds. As you may remember, if you watch us regularly, we've got 2 raised beds and the rest are edge beds. The 2 raised beds that we've got are for parsnips and carrots and for potatoes, for early potatoes in particular. So what I'm going to be doing is the bed that had actually last year, because we didn't get ahead with carrots and parsnips because we thought we were going to move, I had courgettes in that bed and a couple of squash. So into the bed on this side, not the shed side of the polytunnel, but the other side of the polytunnel of the plot, but the other side, that's where these Arran potatoes are going to go. It's been covered with cardboard over the winter to suppress weeds, and it just needs a little bit of tidying up, a little bit of TLC before I get to planting. But first thing, let's have a look at the Arran potatoes, seed potatoes. So these are our Arran potatoes, seed potatoes, first earlies. When you've got a bag like this, just tear it rather than cutting it, because if you cut it, it creates more plastic waste. And when you've got a bag like this, you'll notice that sometimes you get shoots coming through the plastic. Instead of just pulling it, just ease it out so that you don't damage. These have been in the dark a little bit too long. I meant to get them out last week. Quite a variety of sizes, you can see. Just ease this bit. That one's not going to ease out. Those do. Right, yeah, quite a different mix of sizes, which is quite usual. I don't think I'll be cutting any of these in half. I could cut some in half because they're big enough to cut in half, but I don't think I'm going to be doing that because I don't need that many this year. But what I am going to do is where there's long ones and short ones, I'm going to take the long ones off and leave the shorter ones. Again, there's long ones here. Take the long ones off, leave the shorter. Taking them both off that one. Never mind. I'm going to leave that one on. Leave that. I'm going to take that off. Right. Just a few on there. There we are. Those are our Arran, as I say, first early. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. This is the raised bed that they're going to go into. So I need to move the canes and bottles and plants that are on top here. And then I'm just going to take the cardboard off and lay the potatoes or space the potatoes out. So let me get on with that and then I'll bring you back once I've done that. As you can see, I haven't taken up all of the cardboard like I thought I was going to do. I've decided to plant through the cardboard because I thought there was no reason to not do that. It'll act as a weed suppressant just like it has done over the winter, and certainly the cardboard that is there is certainly wet enough that any shoots that come up from the potatoes will just break through the surface. Maybe some might need a little bit of encouragement if the top starts drying out, but I'll just keep an eye on it and make sure I know what's going on, basically. So I've also cut this one over here in half, as you can see, because I decided that with 15 I wasn't happy, with 16 I was, because I've now got 6 seed potatoes going down the centre and 5 going down either side. Let me just pick you up and I can show you how they're zigzagged. Hopefully you can see how I have zigzagged them, and that's to maximise space between them that way and that way. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how they are now laid out. And what I'm going to do is I'm not doing trenches. You've seen other people do trenches. I've done trenches in the past as well. But for the past few years, what I've been doing is using my trowel to dig down about 10 inches to a foot. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So 16 seed potatoes to be planted, and I'm going to get on and do that. That's maybe about 10 inches now. In it goes. Now I use my pronged out fingers just to press down that first bit of soil. Lovely soil here. Cover it up a bit, use my fingers as prongs just to make sure that the compost is well in contact with that potato and there's no air gaps. 2 down, 14 to go. Just in case somebody wasn't sure what I meant about planting through the cardboard, I thought I'd do this one, planting through the cardboard. Before I do that, there's Mr. Worm there. I'm going to pick him up, pop him there. He can get on and do his own thing there. Oh, there's another one here. Let me plant this one. As soon as I do this, it's going to make that worm shy away anyway. So as you can see, I've made a sort of flap there. Sometimes that flap stays on, sometimes it comes off. Doing my hole. I'm also making sure that the bottom of the hole is really nice and crumbly. In goes the potato. Bit of earth. Prong fingers. Back in with the earth. Flap. Job done. That's the whole bed now planted. So we had 15 seed potatoes. I cut one in half. So we've got 16 seed potatoes in here. And with the one that I cut in half, I let the wound where I had cut dry. I did it basically, I did those two basically the last, apart from the very final one, which we've just seen. And now we will see how long it takes for them to break the surface. And it's sort of a highly scientific experiment because we've got half planted under cardboard and half not. So there we are. Great, an unexpected job done today. I'm really glad to have got that job done. Of course, it's an unexpected job for me. The expected job will get done next week. But I did think yesterday, St. Patrick's Day, about coming down and planting the potatoes like my dad used to do. But with everything we've got going on at home at the moment, sorting, clearing, giving things away, preparing for the house to be put on the market, it was just not going to happen. And of course, we both got work as well, you know, that we need to fit in. So yeah, I'm pleased to have got down here today and at least got a job done that needed to be done, even if it wasn't the one that I had expected to have done today. And I popped into the polytunnel just to give the well, check on watering and give the ground bed I've noted a good water, so I've done that. But I also noted that some of the lettuce that we sowed last week has germinated, and I'm really pleased that it's our own saved seed that has germinated first. We did 3 types of lettuce seed last week. Our saved seed has germinated, and I think it most probably germinated yesterday. It certainly didn't on Thursday, and today it's about 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, or the largest one is 2 or 3 millimeters high. So I think it will have germinated yesterday and grown on today. And the other 2 types of lettuce, no sign of germination yet, and no sign of germination with our parsley either. So yeah, I'm just pleased to see some germination there from the lettuce, especially our save seed, because I know A, it's viable, and B, it's pretty rigorous. You know, we've had cold weather, but it's germinated. So, you know, I'm really pleased about that. And I'm also pleased that the sun has come out again, because after I was in the shed before and went out to do the potatoes, look at the potatoes and take them out of the bag, the sun sort of went behind quite a big cloud, and I was standing out there about to film, and I thought, oh, it's a bit chilly, I better put my fleece back on. But fortunately, as soon as I then moved over to do the prep work and the planting of the potatoes, the sun came out again and it was glorious, and it has stayed that way. And in fact, I'm going to leave you now with a shot out the door here that I'm seeing at the moment, because it's rather beautiful. So look, if you've got any comments or questions, please do put them down below. If you're on Planet Vegetaria, I'll see you through next week for segments as they happen. If you watch on YouTube, I'll see you in a week's time with another full week of A Week at the Plot. And as I say, any comments, any questions, please do put them down below and I will get back to you in due course. And I hope whatever you're doing, your spring is getting going, or your autumn is producing fantabulous. I was going to say fantastic, but then I was going to say fabulous, and it just came out differently. So yeah, if you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope that your autumn is as exciting in harvest as you wished it to be. Anyway, I will see you again very soon. Have a good growing week. Bye.